Before we start this question here, let's just review what we call the quadratic sequence because it's going to come in handy here. So according to the quadratic sequence, if you have a function and you have to find the x-intercepts is the idea that y is 0. So you set y equal to 0. That's your permission to factor. In this situation, we have BC factoring. Two numbers that add to -2 and multiply to -35. And the factors would be x minus 7, x plus 5. Then we use a zero product rule. We said each factor equal to 0, and we get our actual answers. And those answers are called roots, x-intercepts, solutions, and zeros. So in this format, they're called factors. In this format, roots, x-intercepts, solutions, and zeros. So what's the point of all this? If we know the zeros of something, then we also know the factors. The factors, according to the zeros being -5, 6, and 7, are going to be x plus 5, x minus 6, and x minus 7. Now, the only thing that could go wrong if we say, well, that's our function. The only thing that could go wrong here is if there were a coefficient right here in front of the first term. Because if there were, let's say, a 5 in front of the x cubed, then we would put a variable here, like usually you use the letter A for that, and then you plug in a point and you can solve for that variable. But because we know that there's no coefficient in front of the first term, then we can just take these three factors and say, well, that's it. That's our polynomial. So now we need to multiply these out to find out what C would have been with those as our factors. So let's start by just FOILing two of them. First times first, x squared, outer times outer, minus 6x, inner times inner, 5x, last times last, -30. Combine like terms. And right now we have it looking like that. We have the first two multiply together to give you that, and we still have the x minus 7 that was there from the beginning. Now we can do a 3x2 foiling. And for a 3x2 foil situation, you want to arrange it vertically. So you take the first one, x squared minus x minus 30, and then you multiply by x minus 7. And we're going to multiply everything by -7. So positive 210 minus 7x minus 7x squared. Multiply everything by x, -30x, -x squared, plus x to the third. And we have the whole polynomial. Now, maybe we could have taken a shortcut and just multiplied the last two terms because the last two terms would have produced that 210. But in any case, we know the polynomial and we know that C is 210.